and Paolo Alcazaran, urban planner, who I'm sure you've heard about and you've read his pieces. Okay, so this afternoon what we'll be tackling will be making metro areas livable. This is something that I know is very close to your heart as it is to mine, because every single day we feel that things are getting worse and they're not getting better. I'd like to introduce formally, a little more formally, our panelists. Mayor Joy Belmonte served as Vice Mayor of Quezon City for 9 long years before she finally became mayor. She was elected this year. Mayor Belmonte's advocacies have focused on the protection and upholding of rights of women and children, gender fairness, economic empowerment of women, mental health, culture, and the arts. Also, please welcome in the flesh, not just on Facebook Live, Mayor Isko Moreno. He has been promoting open governance, and I think this is the reason why you see him really on Facebook. That's part of the effort. He also recently led clearing operations in Manila and also announced his commitment to preserve and expand the Arroceros Forest Park. And finally, let's welcome our urban planning expert, Paolo Alcazaran. He has been a practicing design consultant for the last 38 years. That's almost 4 decades. Some of those years were spent in Singapore. Paolo's advocacies include heritage conservation, green cities, bringing back usable sidewalks, parks, and plazas to our cities. If you're familiar with the Iloilo Esplanade, I don't know if some of you are from Iloilo here, and the pedestrian and park networks of Makati and Ortigas, that's Paolo's handiwork. Okay, so let's move on to our discussion this afternoon. As I said earlier, I'm sure that you feel the congestion. You feel that this city is about to explode. And the mayors, I'm sure, also have their plates very full. And part of the reality is they only have figures. 1 term is good for 3 years. Of course, they can seek re-election and be in office for as long as 9 years. Maybe I'd like to start by asking, what are your priorities given the reality of a short or a long-term limit of 9 years? What are you prioritizing to make your respective cities more livable? May I call you Isko? Oh, sige, Isko.
Thank you. Magandang hapon po sa inyo at sa mga kasama. Well, Manila is very unique, comparatively speaking, with our neighboring cities with regard to hosting all the major ports. We are serving as far as GMA area and as far in the south and as far as in Tarlac in the north with regard to their raw mat being delivered to them via our ports. Our ports on the west side of the city easily in a given time, in a day, 4,000 trucks will cross Ross Boulevard, Finance, Loto, portion of Loto, and so on and so forth, especially in the north part of the city, the Arte. Then, after that, in the middle part, which is the backbone of the city of Manila, just in front of you, Up Avenue, all the way to Quezon Boulevard, then Espana. This is our backbone with regard to roads. Yung mga kailangan ng papuntang Quezon City at yung mga kailangan ng papuntang Parañaque ay kailangan dumaan ng Top Avenue. Then we have the northbound group these are provincial bus terminals. So technically, Manila is very busy with our roads.
Center siya talaga.
We have to think it that way so that we'll know how to participate with Metro Manila's effort. In this case, MMDA and DPWH. But wala akong maisip na solusyon sa traffic.
Patahin.
Not unless isara ko ang pier. Not unless hindi ko payagan ng mga taga Quezon City pumunta ng Maynila. Kaibigan ko si Joy. So, having said that, the least thing that we can do as city government is to clear our streets of all types of obstruction. That's the very least. So if we're going to prioritize things before I develop vertically and duplicate our roads vertically, which is near to impossible because it will cost a lot of money, it will eat a lot of time. And I think national government, for that matter, should address this vertical duplication of roads, especially the major one, the backbone. And kami naman sa lokal, like si Joy, yun ang siguro pinakamaliit namin bahagi na pwedeng gawin bilang lokal na pamahalaan. Huwag nang hayaang pakinabangan ng iilan ang aming mga kalsada. Ang kalsada ay para sa lahat. Foot traffic, vehicular traffic. It should serve its purpose. So, prioritization in terms of implementing with regard to addressing traffic and confronting traffic problem is going back to basic.
So you're saying that ang pinaka-doable is clearing operations, road clearing operations. Is that the same priority for you, Joy?
Well, actually, ma'am, if you're talking about in terms of livability,
Yes.
I agree, of course, with my good friend, Mayor Isko, and he's my good friend in reality because he and I were together in the Vice Mayor's League. So we started both as Vice Mayors and now we're reconciled as Mayors. So it's good to have Manila as our neighbor. But in terms of livability, although you asked me earlier what I wanted to do, it's totally different from the issue of traffic. No? But here in Quezon City, one thing that we're trying to do, apart from clearing the streets, which is something that was mandated by the President through his State of the Nation address, that we, mayors, in 60 days must clear primary, secondary, and mabuhay lanes of all road obstructions and sidewalk obstructions. And in these particular areas, 24/7, hindi pwedeng magkaroon ng vendors at ng mga sasakyan. So ito mandato ito ng Pangulo at sinusundan namin at sumasang-ayon kami ni Mayor Isko dito. No? In addition to this, ang ginagawa rin ng ating lungsod patungkol sa livability is working towards walkable cities. No? So we're trying to change our land use plan to make sure na yung land use plan ay hindi hiwalay ang residential, hindi hiwalay ang work area, commercial, kundi magkaroon ng mixed use ang bawat lugar natin para maiwasan na ang pangangailangan na gumamit pa ng sasakyan, kung pwede gamitin ang bisikleta o kaya maglakad. Ideally, with the use of technology, you don't even have to leave your house to be able to complete a day's work. No?
Kaya lang, I have a quick question lang. When you say wag gamitin ng sasakyan, walk if you can, use your bikes if you can, I think yung experience din natin is that number one, pollution. Pag nag-bike ako along EDSA, I'm in danger kasi mababangga ka ng mga bus or malalanghap ko yung maruming hangin. And second, walang protection for pedestrians. If you walk along many of the main thoroughfares or even kahit yung small streets, parang wala kang makitang sidewalk. Because nga, as Isko mentioned earlier, vendors have taken over some of these sidewalks. So paano yun? How do you address that? Even if I want to, pero walang incentive for me and it may not be safe also.
No, kaya nga you asked me within the next 3 years. So, syempre, this is the present.
Right.
This is the situation you're describing now.
Okay.
Traffic pollution, workplaces away from the home, the need to use public transportation that is inefficient, the need to bring your own cars, etc., and use EDSA and other roads that are full of obstructions, etc. But I'm thinking in the long term. So in the long term, it is about planning. So it's about changing your comprehensive land use plan. It's about changing the mindsets of the people towards walkability, towards more compact cities, if you will, wherein all activities that you need to survive, to live day by day, can be done within a small area of your city.
Okay, you mentioned planning. Perfect segue to Paolo. What do you say to this?
Well, Mayor Joy already touched on all of the important points, and so did Mayor. I agree. Within the first 3 years, the best you can do is cleaning and clearing. And the projects that we've been involved with in Iloilo and other cities, that's the first thing that can be done, and it's doable, and it has to be done and sustained. I do have to remind everyone that traffic is not the problem. Traffic is just a symptom of the problem of a lack of integrated, comprehensive transport system for the whole metropolis. People always ask me, can you solve traffic? That's the wrong question. The thing is to provide Metro Manila and all of our metro areas all around the country with a comprehensive transport system, and that is rail-based, mass transport system, non-motorized, that's bikes and walking. And that's where you have to tweak the priorities of the DPWH and all of the national agencies towards that type of infrastructure. We've been involved in a number of initiatives in Makati, in Pasig, and these are for pedestrian systems. Except that the cost of them is too small to even get into the notice of DOTR. Most of the projects are sub 500 million. Ang tinitingnan nila dahil build is the multi-billion peso. All we're asking is one supportable skyway, yung vertical approach, one supporting structure will build 10 pedestrian bridges. Yet we don't have pedestrian bridges. Just try crossing any of our major thoroughfares. So we need, like Mayor Joy said, a realignment of our priorities from just pure car-based infrastructure to more comprehensive transport system.
Meron ba ganun plans for Manila? Setting up a pedestrian network, pedestrian system?
I think Architect Soy will start within our place of governance, because before I go further and ask people around to participate, we always wanted to show that we, in our own house, we're closing roads, we're opening more green space in Lotto particular, so that awan Diyos, masanayan taong lumakad. If you can see, I recently, about 11 p.m. in the evening, tinitingnan ko yung mga tao doon sa patok ng Lotto. Binuksan namin yung park, binuksan namin yung with literally no obstruction. Literally. From 100% to zero obstruction. Then, may nakabukha na yun, ano? Kaya may habits at may tao, it should be. Magbago talaga yung mindset. So, tinitingnan namin. Sabi nyo, kailangan nyo ng dadaanan, yung sinasabi mo. Binigyan ka ng daanan na ginagamit mo, doon pa rin. Doon pa rin yung baketa, hindi mo ginagamit. Why? Ano bakit? Yung nakasanayan.
Habit.
The typical Filipino crab mentality. Una-unahan. Gusto ko na umuwi, pagod na ako. So, ibig sabihin, ibig sa makita sa baketa, mas ligtas, ang gagawin, nakawit ng Lotto, kalakad doon sa may barandilya, makikipag-unahan sa jeep. So, as you can see, real talk na tayo ba? Real talk. Para alam natin anong obligasyon ninyo, anong obligasyon namin. People should participate. Especially if you see your government really moving heaven and earth. At the very least that you can do is follow simple rules. That is jaywalking at 11 p.m. See? So if you want to walk, we'll give you a place to walk, and we're doing it. But are you going to assure me as government, are you going to walk in a particular safe, newly open space? That is now a question I should ask the people. Are you now ready? Because we are. We are moving heaven and earth and spending our political capital to the maximum level. No ifs, no buts. Those who are violating rules in the streets, occupying not supposed to be occupied, will be considered obstruction. And in obstruction principle will destroy everything. We'll use martilyo, maso, o acetylene. Which we did. Because they think that we're a joke. They think, wala yan. Yung gobyerno, isang pisa lang yan. Then they try. I think yesterday, they failed. Because inasettlin ko talaga sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas, pison. You can see to show that we really mean business. So, going back, mahirap in a way, but we will not give up. So now, here we in the South. I talked to some of you. Sabi ko, ingat kayo ha. Lahat ng estudyante, susunod ko na sa Top Avenue. Sa jaywalking. Hindi dahil sa gusto ko may pakita natin mga kabataan. Because your mother, our elders, wala na medyo, sabi nga daw, ano yan, Mr. President, you cannot teach all those new tricks, so to say. But we can start among ourselves to initiate and follow simple rules in the streets. Because every step that you make beyond Bangketa will cause traffic, will cause a halt, will cause a preno. At ang preno, merong, ano tawag sa English? Domino effect. Ganun mo yun. Kaya talagang lahat, illegal terminal sa yun nga, inaamin naman namin siya. At the least that we can do is to clear the streets. The long term, we local governments should manage. We cannot solve. Even JICA, USA, I don't know if UN has a study on it, but I am definitely JICA, USA, and Asian Development Bank came up with a study.
Yes.
The traffic costs us about 2.4 billion. And about in 2030, it will cost us 30 billion pesos. So we really have to address it. And I think national government, with the Build program, should hurry up finishing Skyway that causes traffic also in Quirino Avenue. It's now Umundo.
You mentioned an interesting point kanina about hindi lang local government dapat ito. No? It's not just the mayors, but lahat. Everyone has to
Actually,
get
it's
involved.
trabaho ng gobyerno.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want to blame any of you. I'm asking you to participate.
Do you have other ideas also how ordinary folks like us can participate?
If I may, that's a very good point.
Sure.
In fact, Brother Sprido brought it out, and he mentioned the word I wanted to hear, which is citizenship. We all are citizens of this metropolis and of the individual cities. Yet we don't identify ourselves as such. We've lost the connection where we live. We're more Lasallians, or I'm sorry, Athenians, than we are of where So the first thing I ask of people is, where do you live and what do you call yourselves?
Kinakabahan na ako sa inyo, usapang lasal sa katin
Hindi,
yun.
hindi.
Paano naman ito do high school?
Neutral po yun. But yan nga po, yung tinatanong ko po sa mga audience ko, anong tinatawag sa sarili niyo? If you're from Manila, you're called Manileño.
Correct.
Batang Maynila. If you're from Quezon City, you're called...
Batang Kim
I used to live in Quezon City, I called myself Jack Ross.
Project areas.
Yes, but
But
the point is that if we are to build better cities, we have to reconnect people to where they live. If they don't feel pride in where they live, they won't call themselves off that place. And that's what we lack today.
Parang if you notice also, masyadong segregated, no? Parang yung problema ng Manila yan, problema ng Quezon City, problema ng Pasig, problema ng Makati. Walang integrated approach, I think,
No.
or kulang.
No, that's unfair.
Why?
Because we have Metro Manila meeting.
MMDA. But the problem is, and this problem has been there forever, Metro Manila consists of mayors who are elected, 17 mayors who are elected, and you have MMDA that's led by someone who is not elected but who is appointed. And ang papel niya is to coordinate. So parang kung ako ang mayor, bakit ka magdidikta sa akin? Wala ka namang, di ka naman hinalan.
Well,
So isn't that a problem of structurally organizationally?
Well, that I agree that Metro Manila chairman should be an elected official because
Federalism would have solved that, I think, no?
Federalism?
Federalism would have made NCR a region with one elected governor. Tama ba, Yorme?
ako hindi. I don't want to change government because of problems. I just there's already there's still meron ng gobyerno actually
Existing.
in fact I'll tell you honestly my opinion. You can call it communism, you can call it capitalism, monarchy, federalism, parliamentary, immaterial forms of government. At least may gobyerno. O ngayon may gobyerno tayo, let's work on it. In this case, nabanggit lang yung pagiging civil na walang mandato ng tao over sa aming mga may mandato ng tao. That it makes sense, that point. Yeah, I agree. We should elect Metro Manila governor as a governor, a regular governor. But setting aside that authority, kami naman in fairness naman, na nag-uusap-usap naman kami. Kaya lang there is still this, what we call guilty kami sa isa't isa. What we call parochial mentality. We're still guilty of that. Why? We are susceptible addressing our own constituency. While at the same time, in a way, we try to work hand in hand to harmonize traffic rules, opening of roads. Mabuhay din is one of the major agreement that we had as Metro Manila mayors.
Pero
Yes,
kwento mo, Yorme, meron na po kaming Viber group.
Sa mga mayors.
Kaya kung napansin po ninyo, sabay-sabay na kami nagsususpend ng klase.
We're moving on. Konti-konti. Meron na kaming tips sa isa't isa. Ano ba? Tinira mo na ba? Anong oras mo na
Mukhang kayo lang ang mga batang mayor, si Pico, kayo, at si Mayor Joy ang nasa Bible group.
In fairness naman to Mayor Abalos, Mayor Bolivares, Marikina, everybody's trying to participate and communicate using the technology, which is free. Kaya minsan mayroon kaming chismis talagang among ourselves. Anong oras mo pinaglaran?
Okay.
So it helps. It helps to communicate. It helps to integrate. It helps to reintegrate. It helps to, ano yung sinabi ni President Sucrido kanina? Yung interact, yung collaboration, something to that effect. Yes, it helps. kasi we get familiar to our problems. Then, going back, doon sa traffic pa rin, yes, we're still parochial at some level, but we agreed already with major thoroughfares, mabuhay lanes. Tapos yung ibang ina-address namin, our side streets and so on and so forth.
I'd like to tell you about a survey that Rappler ran among its readers. And interesting yung results. Hindi naman ganun ka-surprising yung results kasi lumabas din talaga. We asked our readers about their wish list. Kumbaga, ano yung gusto ninyo na i-prioritize ng mga mayors, at least in Metro Manila. And this is what came out. Cancellation of classes daw. Number one is traffic and transportation, 47%. Overwhelmingly, 47%. Close to half of respondents. Sabi nila, unahin nyo yung traffic and transportation. So mass transportation, public transportation. Tapos second is lower cost of living. So I guess nararamdaman na rin to ng tao that it's become so much more expensive and yung income is not enough. So may economics din doon. Pero ang layo compared to traffic, 12.6% lang. And then third is crime prevention. Fourth is health services accessibility. And fifth is support for education services.
Well,
baka join mo na? Sige.
So I'll just mention, so those, I guess not everybody, or not a lot live in Quezon City here, but for those of you who do, since you're talking about traffic, I'd like to warn them ahead of time, no? That it will get worse before it will get better. Why is that? Because 4 of the main build projects of our president are concentrated in Quezon City. For example, 12 of the 14 MRT stations are in Quezon City. The 7 of the 15 subway stations are in Quezon City. The segment 8.2, which is the connector road connecting C5 to NLEX, it will be in Quezon City. And the Skyway connecting SLEX and NLEX is in Quezon City, passes through Quezon City as well. And because the president is rushing, he would like these build projects to finish before his term ends, which means for us in Quezon City, at least, and possibly also in Manila, that all of these construction projects will be taking place at the same time. No? And so, in our case, having had that foresight that magkakaroon ng problema sa traffic, mas gagrabe siya. And we've talked to the DOTR, DPWH, they said, wala tayong magawa, Mayor, kasi yan ang plano ng Pangulo. We set up a task force. It's called Task Force Address Build. So meaning, not only that, because when the connector road is built, 18,000 of my informal settler families will be affected. And I have to build housing for them in relation to this. So it's actually quite a difficult situation. But that's why I guess I agree with Mayor Isko that the people must participate. They must know that this is happening. And the government is now in coordination with various sectors in the city, informing them that this will happen inevitably. What are the mitigating measures that we can put in place now pa lang habang pinaplano ito ng national government so that we can anticipate the inconvenience it will cause and we can adjust our lifestyles while this is going to happen. And then hopefully, if the national government fulfills its promise that within X number of years, these building or construction projects will be finished, the promise is, of course, public transportation, which will then ease or lower the cost of living, no? And the traffic situation that you mentioned are at the top of the list of our people. But I'd like to emphasize, before there is gain, there is pain. And I guess we are entering the pain phase.
Okay, so you have to be ready for this. On average, we're told that Filipinos, they'll spend about 66 minutes on the road because of traffic, daily. So if you're saying that things will get worse, in 66 minutes will probably become double. How can we alleviate this? Paano ba magiging mas manageable ito? If it's going to get worse anyway, and we can't do anything about it because of the infrastructure.
Well, acceptance of facts. Kasi, yun na nga, halimbawa lang, let's just say all these infrastructure is true. Let's just say all of this will happen. Let's just continue to hope. So, what can you do as a citizen? Ihanda ko yung sarili, yung mindset ko. That if I'm suffering today about, let me borrow that data, 66 minutes of my life from point A to point B, then with these programs, infrastructure programs, sinabi, matatagdagan ako ng 30 minutos, so that's going to be an hour and 36 minutes. So, medyo babaguhin ko yung lifestyle. I will adopt as a citizen. That is my share to this thing. That is my share to government. I'll make a promise. And I hope these government officials will be true to their words, or I'll crucify them in the next election.
Promise.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, yun yung sa part ng tayong mamamayan. Kami naman, bilang taong gobyerno, the least thing that we can do for you, we as local government, and speaking of the national government, the least thing that we can do for you, like in the case of Manila, if you're traveling from point A to point B at 2 hours a day, if I can give you 145, that's what it was managed. If I can do better, like 1 hour and 30 minutes, that is second to that. Kumang po. But after that, siguro hindi ko na mabibigay because it's going to be simple science, lesser space, occupied by matter, is lesser space. In the case of Manila, we have lesser space, basically, because it's about almost 500-year-old city.
Smaller than Quezon City.
Yeah, it was designed by our ancestors to adapt to, maybe at the time, I don't know with their mathematics, to adapt to 100,000 population. Manila is about 500 years after, it's about 1.8 nighttime population and 3 million daytime population. And Manila is the host of all universities except for Ateneo. And UP Manila. So we host a lot of students. That's why in fairness to the students, they really hang on to the decision of the Mayor of Manila with regard to classes. Because it's not because they want to suspend classes, because they know they experience flooding, they experience traffic, they experience chaos.
But my question is, ganun na lang ba yun? Itiisin na lang natin and we adapt and be resilient. Maybe,
just one suggestion. I think everyone will agree that they will, if you want to ease the pain, we're expected to double our commute time, is that they make our Wi-Fi twice as fast, but at 1/2 the cost, right?
Anywhere.
Then we will suffer in silence.
That thing of my suggestion is just a suggestion. It doesn't mean that you have to do it. It's up to you. Because if you want to have a happy life, don't stress your life. Accept the facts first. Talagang nandyan eh. Talagang mga KUPS yung mga nasa gobyerno eh. Di ba? But, sige, once and for all, let me try this one. Let me try this guy. Maybe he's a serious guy. Maybe he's really going to do something about the situation. Because if you do that, now you bring back hope to your government. You're trying to revive hope to yourself. Ako nga, mukhang baka nga seryoso itong gobyerno. Tapos kami naman, yun nga yung pangako namin sa inyo, yung provision namin sa inyo. Pipilitin namin, sa abot namin makakaya yung pwede namin i-participate. In fact, Architect and I, you should ask him that there are things that you don't know that we are planning and find.
Could you tell us about that? Maybe because we have limited time.
Oh, sorry.
Siguro last question na lang is from the three of you. Parang maybe share your plans or your insights about how things can be better and how living in the city, in the metro, can be a better experience.
Well, in our case, what we're trying to do is build several growth centers in Quezon City. So Quezon City is probably the, I guess not the opposite naman. We have, Manila has about half the population of Quezon City, but we are about 5 times bigger in terms of land area. So we are able to plan for several growth areas. So it's not necessary for us to have just one city center. We can have many city centers. For example, the Cubao can be a city center. The Central Business District, which is the Trinoma area, can be a central center. The Novaliches area can be a center. Balintawa can be a center, etc. So that's how we're planning to organize our city in terms of different growth areas so that people do not need to travel long distances to get to places of work. At the same time, we make each area attractive to investors so that each can be its own microcosm. Kompleto na siya, nandiyan na yung mga negosyante, nandiyan na, kompleto na ang bawat growth area. No? So people, that this will minimize transportation needs. No? In other words, I think our country patterned itself too much on the American model, which is car-based, which is distance-oriented, suburban in lifestyle, but now we have to try and adopt the European model, which is compact city centers in our spaces, no, to maximize walkability, pedestrianization, and mixed-use facilities. No? And I guess that's the way our city is trying to organize itself. Now, of course, you're asking in the short term. I'm sorry, I'm kind of a long-term thinker. That's why probably I hope I make it to the end of my 9 years. Baka pareho tayo, Mayor Isko, we are gambling our political capital because there's so many things we want to do. But actually, in the long term, we have many nice plans for our city. But in the short term, I'll just very briefly say what we're trying to do now is decentralized governance in Quezon City. So all of the malls in Quezon City will now, by January, have one-stop shops where people can pay their taxes and they don't have to go to the municipio. They don't have to line up anymore. We're trying to move towards a fully automated city by the end of 3 years, but at least the revenue generating part by the end of this year should be finished. And then we go on and on until at the end of 3 years, hopefully, everything will be online and people no longer have to go to the city government, the city hall to get transactions done. That's our plan for it.
Okay. So for those, I don't know if there are any of you from Quezon City here, that's something to look forward to. Paolo?
I think after their 9 years, the next step would be for everyone to vote for either of them as governor of Metro Manila. But just one very quick, and this is very good to have such a discourse on cities and quality of our lives here. I would invite you all, for those of you who haven't finished your degrees yet, to think about a career in urban planning. There are only 6,000 of us in the profession. There are 60,000 architects. We have world-class buildings, but once you step out, you get run over. So we need, and all of these mayors, their plantillas require urban planners and landscape architects and urban designers. We need people in the planning professions to be able to help us all move to that brighter future.
Ulitin ka nun, nakalimutan ko nun.
So ano yung...
No. You know, if you know the principle of groundswell, I would rather invest in that from the bottom. Go back to basic. You may have all the high-valuing ideas, words, tingin lang. Kaya nga hindi na kami pinagkakatiwalaan. Kasi we are full of promises. So, what I'm saying is that I think I would rather invest in going back to basic by talking to people, listening to people, addressing their interests, and what is manageable and what is doable immediately, and what is doable in the medium term, in the long term. Because I can always ask technocrats on my lab to plan, while at the same time I address the day-to-day concern of our people. Ako kasi naniniwala ako, to change these things, kailangan ng tao mag-participate. And how to participate is on how are you going to convince others to change their mindset. Kumbaga, medyo itutulong lang. Kasi infrastructure, sa maniwala kayo sa hindi ko alam kung may nag-aaral dito sa gobyerno, kahit chongo ilagay ninyo na mayor, there is what you call appropriation for infrastructure projects. Ituturo lang ng chongo, So, ibig sabihin, tatakbo ang gobyerno with or without the mayor. Because it's designed that way. There are things that are already in place. That's why we elect people in their respective offices to guide, to create policy and visions. So, my greatest dream for Manila is very simple. Very simple. Darating naman talaga yung mga pagkabago-bayan. Darating yan. But more than anything else, I want to create a city like an orchestra, composed of different musical instruments, playing one music in harmony, that all sectors, issues are being addressed consistently, persistently, being conducted by one person, and that person is a metaphorical person, being conducted by law in order. Without it, it's not going to happen. So, baka lang nakaligtaan natin na maybe maaari talagang may mga pagkukulang ng gobyerno, pero can we just sit for a moment, just for 5 minutes, think it over. Ano nga naman ba ang pwede kong maging partisipasyon sa pamahalaan? That's my dream of Manila.
Okay, so obviously very participatory. Huh? So, okay, we haven't, we don't have enough time anymore, so we'd like to thank our mayors for joining us. I know this is a very complicated and complex problem. Hindi ito mapag-uusapan in just 30 minutes, but as they have pointed out, it's really important for each and every one of us to be part of the process and to also hold them into account if they don't deliver on their promises. But bantayan natin ang isa't isa, but citizens have to do their part as well. Thank you very much. Thank you, Isko. Thank you,